let's just start off the show. Talk some swimming and diving. Tom Uvaas is here because, well, we got the Fergus Invitational, the Otter Invite going on today. But Tom, well, thanks for coming in. Let's talk about some things that happened as you started your season and beat Rocori the other day, huh?
We had a nice meet at home against Rocori, and what's nice about the first meet is you get to get an idea of what the times are going to be like, and of course we're always racing against the clock as well as against our competition, and it was really a very fast meet for us. We're very happy with our times. We have some good depth. I think we're going to have a pretty nice balanced team here.
Boy, I tell you what, the name we're going to hear week in, week out on CraigOlsonSports.com, on Lakes Radio, and from you, Mike Hurley, another record. He broke his own pool record.
Yeah, he has a lot of gifts, and he's of course been recognized an awful lot in the press. But this is a young man who puts a lot of time into this particular passion of his, and has done very well. And he's just as fun to watch train, to be honest with you, as basically race. I mean, we're very blessed in practice to watch him. And I told the team the other night after the meet, I said, and not just because of Mike, but we have about a good 10 or 11 kids who have really quality swimming. They look really good in the water. They're very entertaining. And I said, this is a team that helps everyone to become a little bit better, and especially to our 7th and 8th graders. I mean, when you get a chance to watch kids come off the wall streamline and do the technique right, it's a win-win for all. And we've done a lot of collaborative work with our 7th and 8th graders, where our older kids are working with the younger kids, and it's going to be a win-win for all.
You talk about Mike's training, and you think of Stacy and Heidi Busak and how they love to train, and how you love to watch those athletes train. Has that spread to other team members? Do you have a team, Tom, that as a whole kind of likes the training part of the sport?
Yes, I would say that there's a number of kids here that probably train more than they would normally would because of seeing the benefits of it and recognizing that we constantly tell the kids that really their success is in the training of the unknown, where nobody sees you train. I mean, it's where you're doing things that it could be having a Y membership and going to the Y once while in the off season and just doing some drills, or it could be as simple as doing extra push-ups and sit-ups at home, or whatever it is. I mean, in today's world of athletics, and I don't care what the sport is, you have to do the extra to become great.
You mentioned the good times for the opening meet. Is there ever a point as a coach where you say, oh, these times are too fast for this time of the year?
Well, that's a concern we have. But I guess traditionally we've kind of watched and seen, the first contest, I think in all athletics, I don't care if it's basketball, hockey, you name the venue, there's something about that showtime moment. They haven't wrestled for a long time now. They're on the mat for the first time in front of a crowd, or you take a hockey game the first time you hit the puck. It's when you have the crowd there. Last time they did that was like 9 months ago. So it's kind of a neat time, and same thing for swimming. Once you get up on that block, that first race. And so I won't be surprised at all if we have some pretty good times today, but then, next week our times will taper off. And when we teach the kids that too, that, we expect plateaus. Matter of fact, we kind of want to have some plateaus here because otherwise we're not training properly. Because, you want to train through meets, and that's what we'll do. So, but that was a fun meet to watch, and I think it gave us the idea of what we have on this team, and especially younger kids really dropping well. And I'm more impressed by their technique and by how smooth they are and some of the finishes we had.
You had a number of 1, 2, 3 finishes, which will score a whole bunch of points for you and really make some good things happen out there.
Well, Rocori is a younger team, and we knew that the meet would be a competitive meet, but not nothing like possibly like a Sartell or a Brainerd might be. And so with all that said, we basically we changed the lineup around because we try to have kids swim different events than what they're swimming today. And not everyone, but a number of them are swimming a different event. And we wanted to do that because we want this meet to be fresh too, and we also wanted to see what they could do. So if we had to make changes next week, because we've got 2 kind of really big meets, we've got Moorhead away and we have Sartell away. And those are meets where we will have to kind of figure out how we're going to realign some of these kids for places, and those meets will be totally different. They're basically going to be by scoring. And, what place can you take? Now, then we won't worry about your time. We're more interested in the place and score to see if we can come out ahead.
Now, this is a very versatile group, isn't it? You're going to have a lot of options for wise.
Well, we're really, we preach that a lot. We've talked about that a lot. We do a lot of individual medley and practice. Matter of fact, if we would not have this meet today and we would have had just practice, I have something called the inverse pyramid, which is an interesting set. It's all IM. and it takes about an hour and a half to do. But it would have been a great set for us to do, and what's nice is the variety. It's all 4 strokes when we mix it in there. But we think that's really important because we're going to need people to swim different things. And I'm really happy with how we have some kids who are kind of new to swimming and how they're really improving and being able to really do that. We're excited about our 7th and 8th graders. And then the other thing we're real proud of is our divers. We have 6 divers. And last night I had to wait for Coach Hartwell. He was coming in for diving practice. And so some of these guys were on the boards, and I just told them not to get hurt. And so I just kind of watched, and you can tell kids that have this natural ability. I mean, to do a somersault and do reverses and things like that. And when you see natural talent like that, I'm sure Coach Hartwell is really excited.
Zach, how's swimming for you and swimming well? And that's very encouraging after the injury he suffered in the cross-country season.
Well, Zach Hollis is probably the best of athletes in how well he trains and how much he loves sports. You know what I mean? I watched him run the section cross-country meet, and how that happened. And the next day, how he could hardly walk, and here he is back in the pool. And I constantly ask him, "How's it going?" And he says, "Fine." And he just he enjoys the sports, he enjoys the kids, and he has been just a great welcome addition to our school.
You had 3 relay teams qualify for state at the girls' meet.
Mm-hmm.
What about the boys' relays? Do you take a different approach to the relays than the girls?
Well, yeah, I think that we'll probably go medley 400. Our 200 free relay is tough. I don't know if we're going to have anyone do 3 relays in an event. We could. I'm not going to say we're not going to, but it's a little early in the season. But and that second 200 free relay may be strong enough to make it too. We're in a big section, though. Our section starts from Hutchinson and goes all up to Thief River. So geographically speaking, it's huge. There's only 4 sections in the state for A.
Yeah.
And so there's 21 teams, I think, in this section. So it's a pretty monstrous section. As compared to girls, we have 8 sections, So it's a totally different world. But it'll be fun, and Hutch is going to be tough. Hutch won the girls' state meet. So I'm sure their boys are saying, whatever you can do, we can do just as good.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be hungry for that, and they've got a great tradition.
It's interesting you say that because I know we talked about this earlier this week when we visited. That does carry over, doesn't it? The success of a girls' season in the fall carries over to the winter, and you have such great support from season to season from the boys who supported the girls all fall, and now the girls are there supporting the boys.
Yeah, absolutely. It is family. It's a family, and they swim summer sometimes, and although they don't compete as much in the summer as they used to, but yeah, it's nice, and I think that because you've raced in that event, you have a real appreciation for it, and you can say, yeah, I've been there. I know how tough that IM is, or I know how important that turn is in the 50, and so I'm sure they get feedback from the girls and in the hallways afterwards. And I'm sure that during the girls' season, the boys make comments about what they're doing in their races.
How about today? What is the agenda for the Otter Invitational?
Well, we're really happy we're having it, and we start diving at 11. And the divers are only doing 6 dives. You have to remember this is our second meet so far the year. We're very early in the season, and so we only allow 6. In a normal traditional meet, we go 11 dives if we could, but it's a little bit early in the season. We have Thief River Falls, Detroit Lakes, Park Rapids. We have Perham. So we have 4 teams coming in. 1 could not come in more, as I guess the storm's hitting south of us quite a bit. And we're looking forward to those 4 teams plus ourselves. So 5-team invite is just about perfect. Most of our kids on our team, we allow them to choose most of their events. We moved a couple kids around just to keep balance. Like we have 1 person in the 500, Jake Fisher, and so that's why I put him in I believe we'll put him in the 200 free or the 100 back in the meet on Thursday. Maybe it was 100 free, but I moved him around instead of swimming 500. And I think Keegan's swimming the fly. That'll be kind of fun to watch. Michael's going to swim the breaststroke, and that'll be really fun to watch because he hasn't had to swim that quite yet. And so it should be a good meet. It should be fun to watch. And we have great relays, and we have a lot of young kids swimming. We'll also swim 50-yard events, which is kind of fun. And the swimming part of it starts at 1 o'clock.
And you have said many times when we've talked that if you've never seen a swim meet before, boy, this is the year to come and watch this team, right?
Yeah, I would recommend it. It's the same thing for the girls' season. We don't have a lot of seasons like this, and it's not just because of one athlete. Really, to be quite honest with you, I think what's fun to watch this team and to watch any sport like this is how the sportsmanship part of it, and about how you do really actually cheer for other kids, and how you celebrate a lot of different moments in the meet. So it's not just, we don't even announce scores and stuff like that. We're more interested in individual progresses. So if you like to see something that's very amateur, and you're going to see two different worlds, you can see kids who can barely swim at 50, and you're going to see probably somebody who will be able to swim at 50 and be pretty close to a AAA time or something like that. You get to see two different worlds, and it's kind of neat in the same pool.
Speaking of scores, tell us your philosophy on when you go to exhibition scoring in your meet, because I know at a certain point in this meet and in past meets, you said these were exhibition races for us.
Well, the philosophy, I think, in high school is that you want to keep the score as reasonable as possible, and you don't want to blow anybody out. And so we'll exhibition when we get to a certain number, certain score. I think it's like 99 to 100, something like that. We'll start the exhibition. To be fair to the kids who get exhibition, we count their points. In other words, we enter it in there, whatever place it was, because it's not fair to a breaststroker to never get a point or anything like that. So we just count it in there. And it's high school. That's what we do. And I always appreciate, I've been on the other side of the coin. A long time ago, we had a meet against a team, I won't say where, and the final score was 42 to 130. And I just thought that wasn't right. And I thought, you don't do stuff like that. And it really did hurt our team. And our boys told us that. And anyway, so that's what we do, and we just think it's more important that we honor everybody. We like our competition. We think they're great kids and great coaches, and we respect what they can do.
And by the way, when I was in Little Falls the other night, the post player is 6'2" junior Whitney Wise, who was quite a swimmer and took Heidi Busak down in a race or two this year.
Yeah.
But the cool thing, and what you just talked about too, as far as sportsmanship and the relationships in this sport, there was Heidi visiting with Whitney, and she'd made the trip to Little Falls to watch the Otter girls, of course, but she also had another reason with her good friend Whitney Wise. So.
And I think that's another thing we talk about a lot is the importance of, you never know where your sport's going to take you in the future, because somebody who you compete against someday you might be working as a colleague with. You have no idea. Or you might be going to school with. So, as you say, what goes around comes around, and I think goodwill goes a long way.
Yeah, that's happened in our profession a lot, too. I think of Sweds, it was Coach Grove down in Wilmer. You ran into him, and didn't you know him from?
He was a sophomore when I was a senior at Red River. He was. We were on the basketball team. I was the manager, and he was a star player.
Yeah, there it is. Later,
small world.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Tom, good luck today. Have a great meet, and look forward to hearing those results.
Should be fun. Thank you so much.
All right, Tom Uvaas with the Fergus Falls boys swimming and diving team.